Hi guys, I'm Emma and welcome to Art by Emma. So here we are back again this week with the continuation of my thrift store makeover, making over my little jewellery cabinet into something more my style. So let's get back into it, shall we? So here we are, pretty much back where we left off last week. I painted the blue on the sides, needs another coat. So now it's time to paint the white in on the clouds. And again, I'm using this lovely Arteza acrylic paints. Now, I've got to say, I did enjoy doing this activity, this project, but I did find filming it quite hard because I'm used to working on smaller projects and flatter projects, and this was more 3D, so it was coming up to the camera quite high. So I was finding framing it a bit of a chore. Not that my framing is excellent, but this was a bit more of a chore. So yeah, just painting in the whites of these clouds before I get on with the rest of my cabinet. And moving on to sorting out this door of the wardrobe section of the jewellery cabinet. Now I thought about painting it bright colours, but I thought it would be a bit clashy. So as this is going to be a door, and you'll find out later on what sort of door, I'm going to paint it brown, like a door. And with that door painted a nice door brown, it's time to start working on the glass insert. So again, struggling with opening my gesso, and yes, again the cardboard has fallen in, but I'm not throwing it out. It's got lovely gesso on. I've got to sort out this situation though. So yeah, I'm going to gesso the other side of the glass door because that is where I'm going to paint my scene to. Yes, so this is going to be a glass panel door and we're going to see a nice scene through the door. Yeah, explained that really well. So I'm just popping it back into the door frame to sketch out the archway that we are going to be looking for, and then I'm going to sketch out the design. And a bit of a one-trick pony, I feel, because the stone paintings, I did one blendy rainbow and then I did a little fairy mushroom. So I'm going to put little fairy mushrooms on here with a little grass scene, some sky, some clouds and the sun in the background. And when I say one-trick pony, for those of you that haven't seen my rock painting video, you won't know that I painted a blendy rainbow and a fairy mushroom, but if you would like to watch it, I will pop the link up here. So yeah, with the Arteza paints, I'm getting on and painting in the scene. This is going to take a couple of coats, and the gesso for some reason is a little bit not streaky, but you can see the grooves of the paintbrush in it. So yeah, just working with this and moving on with my lovely Poscas to fill in the clouds and using the red for my red fairy mushrooms also. And I've popped the dots onto the mushrooms and used the same colour scheme as I did with my rocks because I like a bit of cohesion. And then it's just moving on with this fine Posca black marker to do some outlining. And now I don't know what the problem was with my white Posca pen this week, but the clouds have started to crack a little bit. So I'm going to paint over them again with the white Arteza paints. And here we are moving back to the main body of the cabinet and the roof, the lid, the top of the cabinet. Now I scratched my head for a little while wondering what to paint on here, but the sun and some clouds, it's the sky. So yeah, I'm just penciling in a nice big sun or part of a sun and some nice big clouds and painting them with my Arteza paints. I know I do waffle on a lot about Arteza paints and my Poscas, but they are my two favourite paints to work with. And no, I'm not sponsored by either, but I really, really wish I was. And I do find I waffle on a little bit when I'm doing my voiceovers. I don't know if you can hear it in my voice, but I do find it a little bit awkward. I just don't know what to say. I just hope you find it entertaining. And now with the paint dried on the glass panel and the door frame, it's time to fit the two back into each other, or the glass panel back into the door. So yeah, just pushing that into place and putting the hardware back into place, out with the screwdrivers again, popping the screws in and fixing it all together. So with the door back together, it's time to whip out the Posca pen and just draw in the glass panelling, the frames around the glass panelling. So yeah, just using a ruler to get some nice straight lines. I'm just doing like a little bit of a semicircle at the top, and then just some normal straight glass panelling through the body of the glass. And it was all going so well until, disaster struck. My Posca pen decided to leak. So yeah, it's a cleanup operation. So with disaster hopefully averted, it's time to repair the damage. So I'm going to paint the sun in again, and then it'll be time to get the Posca pen out to try the dreaded line again. Phew! So I'm glad that went okay. So carrying on with the outlining, it's just a case of outlining all the clouds and all the other pieces on my cabinet, just to give it that finished feel. And like I've said on previous videos, I like the cartoon effect that it gives. Now with all the painting of this cabinet almost completed, I'm looking at my Blendy Rainbow drawers, and they're just looking a bit blocky, like there needs to be something else going on. So I've decided to incorporate these rainbow coloured lens flares, I guess you'd call them, just to break up the blockiness of the drawers a little bit. And now it's time for me to become a carpenter. It's time to hang the door back on and start putting my cabinet back together. Now all the painting's completed. So yeah, just a case of whipping out the screwdriver and popping these screws back into place. I do hope you've enjoyed this video this week. If you do, why don't you give me a thumbs up? And if you like my videos, why don't you subscribe to the channel? I'm here every Friday, so press that notification bell so you never miss a video. So with the door on, it's time to add some handles to my drawers. I didn't like the original handles, so I've gone for these wooden knobs. And these are the smallest ones that I could find. And as you will see, the screw fixing on it is made for a normal drawer size, and the screw here is really long, so I'm going to have to hot glue these in place. And when I got these knobs, I didn't know whether I wanted to paint them, turn them into a different colour, but as with the door, I kept that brown because I don't want things to get too clashy, adding too many colours. So yeah, it's just a case of finding the centre of the drawer, marking that with an X, popping on some hot glue and gluing all the door knobs in place. And with the cabinet all rebuilt and the painting all done, it's time to seal the project all together. So I'm going to be using the acrylic varnish, the gloss varnish, just to give it a nice finish and protect it. Now I'm always quite scared when using this stuff because it does sometimes spread the paint underneath and cause an icky sticky mess. So I'm putting it on quite thinly and going quite delicately with it, but things do tend to go wrong, especially for me. And the last few times I've used this, I've had no problem at all, but in the worst possible spot, the Posca pens decided to smudge with the acrylic varnish. So yeah, here's me trying to tidy up and make the best of a bad situation. So now with all the varnishing complete and the aversion of disaster again, it's trying to find a spot, a position for it to dry in without it sticking to the backing paper. And yeah, I think that's the position for it to dry in. Just pop that door up a little bit so nothing gets stuck together. And there we have it. There's my finished cabinet. It is a little bit garish, it is a little bit out there, but I kind of like it. It's fairy-esque, it's rainbow-esque, it's kind of me in a piece of furniture. So yeah, I really hope you enjoyed watching this video. I enjoyed making the video, even with all the ups and downs. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.